All right, here we go with lesson 27 of 6th grade Excel. We're going to look at converting an improper fraction to a mixed or whole number and determining the fraction with the greatest or least value in a set of fractions. The fraction 4 fourths says that you are referring to all 4 parts of a pie that has been cut into 4 equal pieces. A simpler way of saying this is to use the whole number 1. Here's the pie. Cut it into 4 pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's equal to 1 whole pie. The denominator tells you each whole has 4 equal parts in 7 fourths because in this example the fraction says you have 7 parts and you must have 1 whole and 3 fourths. So in 7 fourths I have 1, 2, 3, 4. It has to be fourths. 5, 6, 7. All of those are fourths. I have 1 whole and then I have 3 fourths left over. So 7 fourths is the same thing as 1 and 3 fourths. When the numerator of a fraction is greater than or equal to the denominator, it is called an improper fraction. This is an improper fraction. This is a mixed number. Improper fractions have the top number, the numerator, larger or equal to the bottom number. So 4 fourths is an improper fraction. 7 fourths is an improper fraction, 12 thirds is an improper fraction, 8 sixths is an improper fraction. Anything where the top number is the same size or larger than the bottom number or the denominator. And remember, this is called a mixed number because I'm mixing whole numbers with fractions. They're mixed together. Whole number, fraction, that is a mixed number. All right, it says write the numbers given to you in words. Convert each of these improper fractions to a whole number or mixed number. You can draw pictures or you can divide the denominator into the numerator. And we're going to learn how to divide the denominator into the numerator. This is real simple. 5 thirds really means 5 divided by 3 because that's what a fraction is. It's dividing something up. So how many 3's are there in 5? Well, there is one set of 3's in that 5, and how many are left over after you put that 1 3 into the 5? Think of it this way. 5 divided by 3 goes in 1 time, and you get a remainder of 2. So my remainder becomes my numerator, and the 3 stays the same because it's still going to be thirds, just like in that other example that was already done. Okay, number 3 says 15 fifths. Go ahead and put 15 over 5. I'd like you to try to solve that and put the answer right here. I know it might be a little tricky. Turn the video back on when you're ready to see the solution. And if you're not too sure, just make your best guess and see if you happen to get it right. So remember, this is a division problem. 15 divided by 5. How many 5's are in 15? There are 3 5's in 15 with no remainder, which means we have no fraction. We don't have a mixed number like this one. We just have a whole number. You do not write 0 fifths at the end here. You just write 3. Okay, number 4 says 11 fourths. See if you can write that in here and change that to a mixed number or a whole number over there. Pause the video, turn it back on when you're ready for the solution. Okay, you should have written 11 over 4, like that, 11 fourths. How many 4's are there in 11? 4, 8, 12. Oh, only 2. 2 times 4 is 8, and that leaves us with a leftover of 3. 2 and 3 fourths. Notice the denominator stays the same. Alrighty, moving on. There we go. Now the next thing we're going to learn about is that when comparing fractions involving improper fractions, change the improper fractions to mixed or whole numbers before comparing them. So we just learned how to change improper fractions into mixed numbers. You're going to do that in order to compare the fractions. Put the fractions in order from least to greatest. Then circle the denominator of the fraction in each set with the, in this case, least value. I'm going to show you exactly how this is done. You must show your work by doing what you see written here. The problem's going to start off looking just like this. 9 eighths, I need to see you write equals 1 and 1/8. Because there's 1 8 in 9. There's my 1. The leftover, 9 minus 8 is 1. is 1 also, and so this is equal to 1 1/8. 3/5 is not equal to anything different than 3/5, so you can see there's no show work done there. 1/1 is equal to 1 whole because 1 divided by 1 is 1. And 5/4 is equal to 1 1/4 because there is 1 4 in 5. Here's the 1 with a leftover of, coincidentally, 1 again. So that's 1/4. We always keep the same denominator when we convert it to a mixed number. Okay, they put the fractions in order from least to greatest. 3/5 is the smallest because it's not even equal to 1. These other three are all equal to 1 or more. So this is the smallest. 1/1 is equal to the next biggest fraction because 1 is smaller than 1 1/8 or 1 1/4. These both have a little extra after the 1. Now I better get all that mess off of there. It's getting hard to read, huh? And 9/8 is the next biggest fraction because 1 1/8 is what that's equal to, and 1/8 is less value than 1/4. So this is the lesser of these two fractions. Notice that 9/8 is written here because that's the fraction we're comparing. The 1 1/8 is simply your show work to show why 9/8 is less than 1 1/4, or 5/4. And then 5/4 would be the largest because 1/4 is bigger than 1/8. 1/4 of a pie is more than eating 1/8 of a pie. And this is 1 1/4 compared to 1 1/8. Okay, let's do this next one together. These are a little tricky, so get ready to write. First of all, 7/7. We're going to write what that's equal to right below here. 7 goes into 7 one time. That's the whole number 1. The next one, 3 halves. How many times does 2 go into 3? It goes in 1 time, and there's a leftover, a remainder of 1. So it's 1 1/2. 6/3. How many times does 3 go into 6? 6 divided by 3 is equal to 2. So put a big 2 down there. 5/6 is not a fraction with the head bigger than the butt. It's not a fraction with the numerator that's larger than the denominator or the same size as in this case here. So there's nothing to change, or there's no show work to be done down here. So I want the greatest value to be circled. Circle the denominator of the greatest value. Well, this is equal to 1. That's equal to 1 1/2. That's equal to 2. 2 is bigger than all of these, and it's obviously bigger than something that's not even equal to 1 whole. So I would circle the 3. That number would go in my check answer. Now I'm going to write the fractions down here in order from least to greatest. The smallest one is 5/6 because that's less than 1 whole. Then I have 1 whole exactly, and then I have more than a whole, 1 1/2, which is 3 halves, and then I have a fraction that's equal to 2 wholes. So that's the greatest out of all of them. All right, tricky stuff. Go ahead and try number 7 on your own. Turn the video back on when you're ready to see the solution. All right, 12/9. You should have done how many 9s go into 12. That's 1 into 12, and there's a leftover of 3, or 1 3/9. 4/5 is not an improper fraction, so I just leave it alone. 7/1, that's 7 divided by 1 is 7. 8/4 is 8 divided by 4. How many 4s are in 8? 2. So you can see here that I have my smallest fraction. Then the next biggest one is going to be this one here, because 1 3/9 is the next largest. 2 is then the next biggest, and 7 is totally the biggest because 7 is way bigger than all these others. So I'm going to put them in order first from least to greatest. 4/5, 12/9, 8/4, and 7/1. And I circle the 5 4/5 because that is the least value of all the fractions. Woo! All right, that's a tough one. You might want to watch that one again. Thanks for watching.